Welcome back to Target Field. Joe Scarrella with your scoop from the clubhouse. Since coming over in the Dodger deal, Logan Forsythe has been red hot, and that might be an understatement. Batting .445 in a Twins uniform. That includes last night a 5-hit game, a career best for him. Add a couple RBIs to that. And Paul Molitor said he's not the kind of guy that lets outside circumstances get to him, like being sent to a new team. In fact, he's thriving on the idea of being able to play every day. Welcome back to Husky Face Off. Joe Scarrella inside the Herb Brooks National Hockey Center with the head coach of the Huskies, Brett Larson. Coach, your penalty kill's been tested early this season, but they're at 90%. That's second best in Division I college hockey. It seems like the Paling brothers have been all over the ice on that shorthanded unit.
Yeah, they've captained it for sure.
Who says you can't be friends and be in the biggest competition of your football lives? Whomever did forgot to run that past Gophers quarterback Demery Croft and Connor Rhoda. The two are battling for the starting QB job. With December temperatures approaching, St. Cloud residents will be climbing over the boards. And it won't be long before the concrete turns into ice. From St. Cloud, Joe Scarrella, UTVS News. Let's bring out the brooms again, why don't we? St. Cloud State gets another win and another sweep over the Denver Pioneers. Hello and welcome inside the studio. Joe Scarrella with your post-game report. The Huskies get it done once again on home ice, and the Cardiac Kids with another come-from-behind win, 4-3 your final. Since Fernando Rodney was dealt, the closer position for the Twins has become wide open, and Trevor Hildenberger has filled that role. 3 consecutive saves, and in his last 2 outings, just 1 hit allowed. Now, Paul Molitor said that this entire season has been pretty good for Trevor, but he said that lately he's really filled the gap that's needed to be filled, but he wasn't quite ready to say that Trevor would be the official closer.
Now you've got Wisconsin, and they play a very similar style to the University of Minnesota. What can you take from the series that you guys had just a few weeks ago against the Gophers and to apply against the #1 team in the nation?
That they assume it's offside, they can't prove it, so they can't overrule the call on the ice.
And there's got to be a frustration with that, because this game essentially comes down to the fact that there's no camera on the other side of the ice.
It does. It is very frustrating.
There's a good chance that the St. Cloud State Huskies are the #1 team in the nation come Monday. That's because they got the sweep tonight over the Bemidji State Beavers. Hi, everybody, and welcome inside the studio for your post-game report. The Huskies get it done 7-4. Let's take a look at your highlights from Game 2 of the in-state battle between the men in green and the hometown Huskies. Between the pipes tonight, it's David Hrennick. Last night, Jess Smith was a rock, but the 7-0 starter gets the call tonight. Where I'm standing right now would be a 35-yard field goal, and while that may not seem that far away, right now there's no clock, there's no defensive line, and there's no pressure to get in the way. Well, this isn't particularly uncommon weather in Minnesota in October. It does mean one less round for golfers, unless they're willing to brave the elements. From St. Cloud, Joe Scarrella, UTVS News. Last series before a break, is there an added intensity when you know you have some time off before the holidays?
Absolutely. You want to make sure you feel good going into these 3 weeks.
SCSU on FSN weekend rolls on at the Herb Brooks National Hockey Center. I'm Joe Scarrella, and this is your preferred one first intermission report. It didn't seem like the Omaha Mavericks were going to get across neutral ice, because the St. Cloud State Huskies offense was spectacular in that first. They controlled every aspect of the game, and let's take a look back. Only 1 score so far, and it came off the Velarati touchdown rush. What have you liked from the quarterback in his first career game for you, Mary? Because he seemed poised, and he seemed like the passes are there, and he knows when to take it himself. Trailing 3-1, the Timberwolves hope to climb back in the series tonight in Houston. The Rockets' James Harden took control with 36 points at the Target Center in Game 4, leading his team to the 119-100 win. The Wolves need to see a better start to the second half tonight. Monday, they were outscored 50-20 in the third quarter. Karl Anthony Towns was the best on the court for the Wolves in Game 4. Cat dropped 22 points and pulled 15 off the glass. Japan's Ayuma Hirona stole the show, setting up a golden finish. The Flying Tomato needing the run of his life. He dropped in with back-to-back frontside 1440s, then put down his signature double McTwist 1260 and came in with a final frontside cork 1260. An emotional Sean spoke to the media after the win about white being the new gold. As impressive as that is, you guys, for Sean White, his 3rd gold medal,
I would be in the hospital if I tried one of those moves.
Yeah, they make it look so easy.
Stevens finds his man Lammers to tie the game at 7. After that, it was all Huskies, already up 28-7. Huskies get another. Lawhorn finds his favorite man, Solberg, to the house, and St. Cloud State rolls over Upper Iowa, 34-14 on the return of homecoming. With that, we welcome you back inside the studio. Joe Scarrella with your preferred one first intermission report. The festivities and the fireworks at the Herb Brooks National Hockey Center have already started. 2 goals for St. Cloud State to start off this one. Seconds later, talk about a sharp angle. Robbie Jackson had no angle. Walking the line, he puts it up over the shoulder of Driscoll, and Jackson's third of the season inches him closer to that coveted century mark. Driscoll can't believe that he was beat by this one, but Serratori decides he's seen enough from the former Husky goaltender. Back at the Brooks Center with your preferred one first intermission report tonight. There's 2 Minnetonka natives who are across the ice from each other. They're also brothers, Jimmy Schultz and John Schultz, getting their first chance to play against each other at the Division I level. Our Kirsten Kroll got the chance to speak with the family about who they're rooting for this weekend. With the goal of $500,000 being reached, the facility is scheduled to be complete in September of 2019, just in time for the start of next year's hockey season. From the future weight room of the St. Cloud State Huskies hockey team, Joe Scarrella, UTVS News. Thanks, guys. A fun event coming to Major League Baseball next weekend. Friday through Sunday will be Players Weekend, where every team in the majors will be wearing non-traditional uniforms with their nicknames on the back. Now, some of these nicknames are pretty out there, like Logan Forsythe, who will have Logie Bear on his jersey, but some are pretty tame, like Mauer. Well, for a team who made moves a few weeks ago, seemingly waving the white flag on the season, the Twins players are not going away quietly. They've won 6 straight and have played their way back into the second wildcard spot going into tonight's game with Detroit. A rough first inning for Jose Barrios. Tigers with the bases loaded. James McCann takes Barrios deep to left for a grand slam. We're going to take a look at that exhibition game between the Mount Royal Cougars and the St. Cloud State Huskies, your first game behind the bench. And one of the first things we wanted to talk about was the zone entry. Coming in the zone, there was a lot of guys bunched up in the corner. How do the guys spread out and start to figure out we got to be in our spots? Well, you couldn't have asked for a much better start for the St. Cloud State men's hockey team on home ice. They get the win 4-1 over the Northern Michigan Wildcats. With that, we welcome you inside the studio. Joe Scarrella with your post-game report. It was all systems go for the Huskies. Blake Lizotte with a big day. Easton Brodzinski with a big day. Let's take a look at how this game unfolded down at the Herb Brooks National Hockey Center. Home opener. Huskies trying to do what they did last weekend. That's get a sweep